Hey, Roger, how are you, sir? Sorry, we were in the middle of another interview, so we missed. We kind of missed your phone call that you went through. Ladies and gentlemen, first off, round of applause, Roger Stone.
Welcome
on the phone. Jesus, Christmas, people. All right, so Roger, first question, because I know you're a very, very busy man. What's it like to wake up at 5:30 in the morning by a SWAT team? I have to ask this because it looked horrible. And CNN, who got there before the SWAT team somehow. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, recognizing that I am charged with nonviolent process crimes, that I have no previous criminal record, that I do not own a valid passport, nor do I own a gun, and the idea that I would be a flight risk is disproved by the fact that the magistrate gave me bail on my signature, essentially. This was the kind of thing you'd expect in Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia. It's hard to understand why the government spent $500,000 to send more men after me, men and women, than they sent after bin Laden.
I was wondering, because what exactly are you, like, because you, according to what I've read and seen, you technically have done nothing wrong. Am I correct here at making this astounding thing? This you haven't done anything. Have you?
Well, I've been charged with a series of process crimes, including allegedly being less than truthful to Congress. Of course, they don't charge Hillary Clinton with that, or James Clapper, or Andrew McCabe, or James Comey, or Huma Abedin, or any of the other Democrats who lied about consequential things, material things. But I pled not guilty to all charges, and I will go to trial pleading not guilty. And I will ultimately be vindicated. I'm being persecuted because I supported Donald Trump and because I opposed Hillary Clinton, and for really no other reason.
Well, that's why hashtag Stand with Stone is something that, like, I wanted to start, because I don't see this as any other thing other than the fact of it's a political attack because you are associated with the President of the United States, and because of that reason, they are going after you. I mean, that's just to dumb it down for everyone playing at home. I don't see what exactly, other than that, is any reason to go to your house. First off, CNN being there prior is kind of like a little hinky. That CNN is there before the SWAT team, as if they were, I don't know, tipped off.
They drove fast.
Yeah, they got there first. They did lights and sirens first. They just had Hillary, out of the window going, nah! Instead of a siren. They get there first. They now go into your house. Now, your wife is hearing disabled. Am I correct?
Yes. So the way this went down is CNN showed up 40 minutes before the FBI.
Minutes. 40 minutes.
They set up their camera 7 minutes before the FBI strike force pulled onto my street. A CNN reporter sent a copy of the indictment to my lawyer by text. He had not yet been informed, but that copy turns out to be not the copy unsealed by the court at 6 o'clock, but a draft copy that appears to have been written the previous day. So, and leaking, of course, to the media by the special counsel or the FBI would be a crime, would be a felony. But if you believe CNN, they were just operating on a hunch. The fact that the producer on the ground outside my house was a guy named Josh Campbell, former special assistant to FBI director James Comey. So, yeah, it stinks pretty bad. And, of course, the special counsel's office knows that I am represented by an attorney. All they had to do was contact one of my attorneys, and I would have obviously turned myself in.
Yeah.
But they're trying to poison the jury pool. They want to make me look guilty before I've had a chance to prove my innocence. And now, as I'm sure you read, the judge in this case is considering gagging me, ordering me not to discuss or defend myself in public because it might poison the jury pool. When, of course, 2 years of insidious leaks about me have done exactly that. Just to be absolutely clear, I am not charged with Russian collusion. I'm not charged with collaboration with WikiLeaks. I'm not charged with receiving advance notice or content or source of any of the WikiLeaks disclosures, either allegedly hacked emails or allegedly stolen emails. Now, I'm not charged with any of those crimes, although you wouldn't know it if you read the New York Times or the Washington Post coverage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They paint you out to be something else. And if anything, by doing this, I don't see how this would poison a jury pool, because I'm dumb as a rock when it comes to this kind of stuff. I mean, I know the ins and outs of some political stuff, but I can clearly see that right now they got nothing other than your association with Trump and maybe your Nixon tattoo. Maybe they don't like it. Other than that.
Yeah, it's possible, because I'm the only guy with a dick on the front and the back.
Hi-oh.
But the point, of course, is that now they want to gag me because they know if I'm allowed to speak, perhaps I can raise the money for my legal defense.
Exactly.
Recognize the government has unlimited tax dollars and 3 platoons of Ivy League lawyers to prosecute me, whereas I have to go to the American people through my website, StoneDefenseFund.com, to try to raise the $2 million I need to try to stay out of jail. If I were convicted on all of these nonviolent political crimes, I would be going away for 45 years. I'm 66 years old. But on top of that, rousting my 71-year-old wife, who's deaf, at gunpoint at 6 o'clock in the morning, and making her walk out on the street in a nightgown and barefooted while I'm standing next to her handcuffed, so CNN can film it, I think that's cruel and unusual, frankly.
And it doesn't make any sense. This is what I'm saying. First off, a gag order doesn't make sense in this kind of a case, because why would you not be allowed to talk about what you believe is either a conspiracy or what you believe is the opposite of what they believe? You should be able to speak your mind. Also, that's your bread and butter. That's how Roger Stone makes his money. People give a shit about what you have to say. That's what you do. So essentially, putting a gag order on you seems a little bit like a personal attack and nothing more. It doesn't make any sense. Logically, your job as an author, as a guy that writes a best dressed list, a guy that has a dick on the front and a dick on the back, by the way, great joke. The fact is, it doesn't make any sense other than being a personal attack. So, that being said, if they were to actually, thank God, by the way, you didn't get the gag order, or we wouldn't be doing this interview right now. Because I know that they were you were on with Jim and Sam on Sirius XM. I know that much. Channel 103, by the way, Faction Talk. Check it out. But they, that might have been the last interview, but then now you're on what the judge is calling a media tour. They're like, oh, Mr. Stone, it's not a media tour. But meanwhile, it's not a media tour. You're just going show to show trying to defend yourself. I mean, am I seeing this wrong?
And people want answers.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it's the government who's been conducting a media tour, because for 2 years I have had to read every other day Daily Beast, Newsweek, HuffPo, Washington Post, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. Roger Stone's been colluding with the Russians. No, I haven't. Roger Stone's being investigated for being the intermediary between the Trump campaign and WikiLeaks. False. I'm not charged with that. There's no evidence or proof of that, because it's not true. So the government leaks like a sieve to try to destroy me and discredit me, yet when I try to step forward and defend myself, that's dangerous, it might taint the jury pool. They're already tainting the jury pool. They tainted the jury pool in the manner in which I was arrested. I mean, I'm not El Chapo. I'm not Pablo Escobar.
No, you're better looking.
Believe me, they had a lot fewer men guarding our consulate in Benghazi than they used to take me down.
Nah, and they're like, all right, so we have like Jerry in the Facebook Live suite who's saying they want to gag him because he's making a fucking circus out of this. However, I'm going to reiterate the point, because I know that Joe answered him already and saying that, there's no facts, it's just bullshit. But I'm going to reiterate the point. If I was accused of something, you would literally have to gag me. Not put a gag order on me, I'm saying go out, go buy a fucking ball gag. You could probably find it at Nancy Pelosi's house. Go find a fucking ball gag and put it in my mouth, because I would defend myself tooth and nail, which is what Roger Stone is doing. That's all he's doing. He's defending himself. If you're telling him he's wrong, that he did this X, Y, and Z, and he's saying, no, I fucking didn't, and they have nothing that really links him to anything, he's already given the emails. He's given the text messages. Yeah. Did he have a text message or an email, I forgot what it was, Roger, where you called some guy a cocksucker? Yeah. But he freely admits that he said it. It's not like he's making shit up. He's not like, he wasn't like, if you ask, here's the way you can look at it from this perspective. People were listening to Tom Arnold that Roger Stone was a fucking, the moment we listen to Roger Stone less than Tom Arnold, I have a fucking problem, and it smells a little bit like collusion to me. Yeah,
no, you make it. It's really, though, at the end of the day, it's really about the money. Because if I can raise the money to defend myself, they have a very weak case, and they know it.
Yeah.
So by gagging me, I can't tell people, that I have a legal defense fund. Every penny goes to the lawyers. It's not going in my pocket, and it's going to cost me $2 million. Plus, I got to go to trial in the District of Columbia. Voted 90% for Hillary Clinton. The judge is an Obama appointee. I don't even have a fighting chance if I can't speak, and my First Amendment rights allow me to speak. So, look, I've gone out of my way not to try to litigate the case on a radio show because it's too complicated and takes too long. But
absolutely.
Recognize the government in discovery dumped on us 3 terabytes of data. That's 750 million pages. I have 4 lawyers. If each lawyer read 150,000 pages a day, I still wouldn't be ready to go to trial by January 1st of next year.
No.
Which means, of course, that they have been reading my emails, reading my text messages, listening to my phone calls for 2 years. And where's the Russian collusion? Where's the WikiLeaks collaboration? Where's any crime in connection with the 2016 election? Everything I'm accused of allegedly happened in 2017 after the election was over. So, look, I face an epic uphill battle, but I'm Italian-American. I'm half Italian, half Hungarian. I'm Italian from the waist down. And I have no intention of, making up stories about Donald Trump or bearing false witness against Donald Trump to get the heat off me. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make stuff up. I'm going to fight if people have my back.
And Roger Stone has freely gone on record. By the way, we're talking to Roger Stone, which is an amazing thing going on. You can help his legal defense fund. Roger, tell him where to go.
StoneDefenseFund.com.
There you go.
StoneDefenseFund.com. Now, when I was arrested, I was wearing a T-shirt and a pair of cut-off sweatpants, and my T-shirt said, Roger Stone did nothing wrong. You can get those. You can get those at 1776.shop, 1776.shop. The money goes 100% to my legal defense fund. So if you want to pick up your T-shirt and wear it in solidarity, as Ann Coulter is doing, as my friend Milo is doing, as Pastor Mark Burns, many other conservatives are doing, I'd be honored. But StoneDefenseFund.com, or you can go to WhoFramedRogerStone.com. Takes you to the same place.
All right, so what exactly, by the way, did you think? Because you obviously, I know you watched it. State of the Union last night. It was on every TV set from here to Timbuktu. I know you definitely have watched it. What did Roger Stone think of the State of the Union?
I thought it was masterful. I thought it was Reagan-esque. It was upbeat. It was conciliatory, but still the president didn't concede any ground. He made a very strong case as to why we need to secure our southern border. But where he really scored is on the question of jobs. I mean, 4.8 million new jobs since he got in, 500,000 manufacturing jobs. Those are the ones they said were never coming back. Wage growth at the fastest pace in American history. The lowest unemployment since 1959. The lowest unemployment among African Americans and Hispanics in the country's history. I mean, that's a success record any way you slice it. and the only person who seemed unhappy about it was Leatherface. I mean, what's her name?
Nancy Pelosi, yeah. Leatherface. From the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you might have remembered her from such films as I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. Nancy Pelosi, by the way, I said this the other day, she looked like she was like happy that she was invited to the party, and then she found out that it was a party for the guy at work that she hates. That was her whole face throughout the whole thing. She's going over the script. She's going over everything. First off, I thought that was kind of rude for you to be fumbling through paperwork during the State of the Union. Shut up and sit there. Let them talk. If you don't agree with them, don't stand up. It's very simple. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm not a big Trump mark, but that man, I have to say, last night commanded the room. He had laugh breaks. They were singing happy birthday to a Holocaust survivor. He got chicks to stand up that were against him, but they gave him a standing O anyway. He worked the room. I mean, this is what we have to realize. We can't just attack guys like Roger Stone because we have a difference of opinion. You know what I mean? You have to work together or we're not getting anything done, which I think was the subtext of the whole goddamn speech. We need to work together.
Well, watching those women wearing white, I haven't seen that many Democrats wearing white since they formed the KKK.
I was just about to say they were missing their hoods. You're absolutely correct. James in the Facebook Live suite said Roger should have used the bleach bit and acid wash his hard drives and use a hammer and on all his cell phones like somebody else, wink, wink, Hillary did. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, unfortunately, I made the mistake of using the bleach on my hair. So,
hi-oh.
Anyway.
Did you see, by the way, did you see Marlee Matlin posting a picture of you at the salon yesterday?
Yeah, I did. I wonder what she thought of the FBI rousting my 71-year-old hearing-impaired deaf wife at gunpoint at 6 o'clock in the morning, Marlee. How'd you feel about that?
That's what I was saying. I was literally thought of that when I saw the picture of Marlee Matlin, who is literally the poster girl for deaf actresses and deaf people everywhere. Because when you think deaf and you think Hollywood, you go right to Marlee Matlin or you think of the chick from Sesame Street. Remember the chick from Sesame Street, Billy?
No, I
the one that she had the short hair and she couldn't hear anything, couldn't hear a damn thing. Those are the only two I can think of. And she's mocking Roger in a salon who was getting his hair done because the guy's gonna be on TV. That's what he does. He also maybe wants to get a haircut. Crazy fucking guy he is. Wants to get a haircut. She's mocking him in the thing, and you're like, but you would think that you would give a shit. He has a deaf wife. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would think that you don't know anything other than the fact that you think he's working with Trump and he's in Trump's back pocket or whatever the fuck everyone thinks. And that's it. It's like that's all they think of. They don't like him. And it's like, we get it. You don't like Trump. But you can't pick on everyone else that might like Trump. Who the fuck cares? Joe on this show loves Trump. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if he's, he likes Trump. He's allowed to like Trump. He's allowed to like Trump. It's okay. We live in a world where you're allowed to like Trump. What, Joe?
I said, I am right.
You are right. That's fine. He believes he's right, Roger. I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry. But, there is crazy people in the world, Roger. It just happens. I
literally just posted that response on my Instagram account a few minutes ago. I mean, she's an advocate for the deaf. What about the abuse of my wife? I mean, she's not charged with any crime.
Yeah. Right.
She's not allowed to touch her cell phone. 29 agents pour into my house. They tear the entire place up. Now, to their credit, they tried to put it back together, and I'd have to say, the individual FBI agents, once I was taken in custody, they were very professional and very courteous. But I got to tell you, many of them were looking at me and rolling their eyes. They didn't like these orders. They knew they came from Washington. They knew it was unnecessary. But none of them said that, but you could tell by their demeanor.
Roger,
some very good men and women were forced to do this.
But did they think you were going to run?
It's really inappropriate.
I'm trying to understand it. Did they think you were going to run? What was the point of the 5:30 a.m. wake-up call with a full SWAT team, tanks, Ocho Cinco, your neighbor on freaking Twitter, writing, there's like 32,000 squad cars on the block. I'm like, what was the fucking point other than by you're showing like the use of force? We can assemble all these people to stop this guy. What was the actual point? That's what I'm saying. If you actually look
to try to make me appear to be public enemy number one, to taint the jury pool. Look, 17 vehicles, including 2 armored vehicles, a helicopter overhead. I live on a canal, 2 amphibious FBI units on the water.
He was going to swim for it.
Completely surrounded by 29 agents, all wearing night goggles, all carrying, assault weapons, all carrying sidearms. A little over the top, wouldn't you say? I'm 66 years old. Now, I'm in pretty good shape, but I don't own a valid passport. I don't have a gun. I'm not a flight risk. I've been under investigation for 2 years. If I were going to destroy evidence, which I have not done, why would I wait till last Friday? It doesn't even make sense, other than Robert Mueller and his, cohorts wanting to flex their muscle in an attempt just to intimidate me, but also to color me for the American people as some kind of criminal when I have not yet gone to trial, and there's no proof of that. It really is despicable. And the liberals who are cheering today, just remember, this can happen to you.
Right.
See, they're cheering when it happens to you.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm watching a guy that literally has done nothing yet. There's no evidence of anything. If you said, okay, we got pictures of Roger Stone punching babies, there you go. You got evidence on something, anything, something. You got nothing. And he wasn't going to jump in the canal and try to make, swim for it and leave his, and no offense, leave your deaf wife sitting there and your house was all destroyed. Like, what the fuck is anyone thinking anymore other than the fact that they don't like, and he's not, Roger Stone, this guy on the phone right now, author of Stone's Rules. You can get the book right now, by the way, as well. Buy the book. Give him some more money. He needs money. You would think he's already gone on the record as saying he's not going to go against Trump in the way, he's not going to lie. You're not going to testify against the president. Am I correct, Roger? That's what you said?
Yeah, I'm not going to be Michael Cohen. In other words, I could probably get out of this jam. All I got to do is lie about Donald Trump. All I got to do is make stuff up. But I'm not going to do that. Just not going to do it. It's not in my DNA. I don't know of any Russian collusion. I don't know of anything the president's done that's inappropriate or wrong. His ties are a little too long, but other than that.
Have they come? Here's a question. I don't know if you can actually answer it legal-wise, but have they tried to cut a deal with you already?
I can't address any of that at this time, but I've made it pretty clear that I'm going to tell the truth no matter what. I will tell the truth, and I will not perjure myself. I didn't perjure myself in front of Congress. Now, I did say about Congressman Adam Schiff, if it's Schiff, flush it. That guy is a one-man shitstorm of disinformation. He's so full of Schiff, his eyes are brown.
There you go.
He's the greatest huckster, the greatest con man, the biggest pop-eyed freak I've ever seen in American politics. He makes Tricky Dick Nixon look like St. Thomas Aquinas.
See, the thing about Roger that you gotta love, if he had the money part down pat, like if he had the money and he knew that financially he could afford to do battle against these guys, he relishes this. He was the youngest person, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Roger. When they went after Nixon, right, during the Watergate stuff, you were the youngest person ever to be called to the grand jury. Am I correct?
That is correct. I was 19 years old. I didn't do anything wrong there either. So, no, I'm being persecuted because I was for Trump, because I happen to be a libertarian Republican. That's why I'm being persecuted. I got to raise the dough. I need people to go to StoneDefenseFund.com. It's $2 million is a lot of money in small donations, but a lot of people praying for me, a lot of people giving. If the money's there, I will fight. I'm not going to plead guilty no matter what, but I need lawyers, and lawyers ain't cheap.
I'm gonna now. This is gonna be the most dangerous part of this, because I know we have to finish up. I want to see anybody in the room have a question for Roger Stone. Does anybody want to ask Roger anything? I'm being really nice right now and not pissing off Roger Stone and letting anybody in the room. You want to ask a question? All right. Well, everyone start grabbing mics and then they start pushing them away. So I don't know what's going on. Wait, you want a question? Wait. Do you really want to ask a question?
Not really a question.
All right, get on Joe's mic. I'll put you on 6. Get on 6. This guy, Roger, let me introduce you to Bisexual Marcus. Bisexual Marcus, this is Roger Stone. Go ahead, Bisexual Marcus.
How you doing, Raj?
Excellent.
All right. I guess I after hearing what you have to say, I gotta say that I could relate a lot to what you're saying, being like falsely accused of a lot of shit, and me being like I'm not a Democrat, I'm not even a Republican, I'm more centrist, but it's like I could absolutely agree with what you're saying, and it almost seems like they're trying to force this gag order on you so that you can't defend yourself, and I think to me that's unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean I don't know what is what in terms of like this case, but it's like if you didn't do it, I'd say there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Is there a question in here at some point? Roger Stone is on the phone. He's a very busy man.
I get it.
For Christ's sake.
I know. The point of this whole thing is just I hope you do continue to fight, and I hope they don't fucking silence you.
There you go.
Well, I appreciate that. Boys, I've got a steak and a martini that somebody else is paying for, waiting for me.
Very nice.
So, and I'm a man who needs a free meal these days.
All right, round of applause.
I appreciate being with you. I'm happy to come back if the judge does not gag me.
Anytime you're not gagged.
Many thanks.
All right, Roger Stone. Roger, you still there for 1 second?
Yes, StoneDefenseFund.com. StoneDefenseFund.com. Many thanks.
And 1776.store, right?
Shop. 1776.shop to get your Roger Stone Did Nothing Wrong t-shirt.
There you go. Round of applause for Roger Stone.
Okay.
There you go, Roger. Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. All right, so good luck, Stone. I literally opened the mic for Bisexual Marcus, and he's like, I like you. I don't know what you did.
But you're getting
You blabbered a little. There was a little bit of blabbering. Wait, get on mic 6 if you want to yell at us from across the room.
You fuck. I was saying I could relate to the man.
Excuse me.
Excuse
me, not in front of JoJo Bananas.
Use
your fucking language like that in front of JoJo Bananas.
I'm sorry.